Good evening and a pleasant welcome to another edition of our show tonight. As you all know, on the Rahim Show, I'm your host, Ricky Ali. I want to welcome my viewer on Facebook and YouTube. I want to say thanks for our show tonight. As you all know, today in Liberia, there was a massive movement on the issue of this thing called drugs in our country, and we are going to discuss that topic tonight. You see the number on the screen, 443-587-620. That is the number to call so that you can be a part of the discussion tonight. I'm so sorry, earlier we started the show, but there was a notification on the 10th at 10 o'clock, so I have to speed up to broadcast the show in order to meet that timeline. So for some of you who are following the show via Facebook and YouTube, I want to welcome you to this tonight. Like I said, the number is on the screen, 443-538-7620. Call that number tonight to watch the show on Facebook and YouTube so that you can be part of the discussion. What do you make up about the movement led by the women of Liberia, the issue about saying no to drugs? And we're going to give you some underlying factors for which drugs are a very serious issue in our country. And also, we're going to play you a couple of videos to align with what our discussion is all about, so you see how this thing about drugs affecting our younger people. You know, I just want to give you, let me just play the video in order to set the tone for our discussion tonight. And if you're watching the show, please like, share, subscribe, and make some comment. We highly appreciate you for that. I'd like to play the video so we can set the tone for our discussion. I'm going to play you two videos tonight. I'm going to play the first video, which talk about a building that I am familiar with on Center Street called the Penn Building. You see a lot of people coming from the building, young people who parents brought them onto earth to become some adequate, but making decisions for themselves, have led them to engaging themselves into illicit, drugs. And I want you to see the condition of men, women who engage themselves into this substance abuse. Please say no to drugs. You have the power to change your future. Stay free from the chain of substance abuse. I'm encouraging you to use a platform. If you are in the habit of doing drugs, please say no. It is not only Liberia as a case study, but anywhere around, if you watch this platform, stay away from drugs, because you will watch these two videos that I'm about to play. First one, you see young people engage themselves into these particular things that we're discussing. And one video is in reference to one individual who is being affected by this particular thing. The reason why I chose this video is to just give you a reminder that these things is not good for our society. That is why we are having this show tonight. If you want to be a part of the show, the number is on the screen, 443-538-7620. Call and contribute to the show. We highly appreciate you for that. And also, if you're watching the show, please share the podcast, make some comment, and also like. We highly appreciate you for that as well. So let's play the first video to set the tune for our discussion tonight. We got a lot of things to walk through, explaining about this issue about drugs in our society and using Liberia as a case study. So let's watch the first video for now.
As you can see them, you can have a hot sun. See them. See them. See them. See them. See them. See them. See in here, my people. This is stand up baby. This is stand up baby. You everything. Put everything down. Put everything down. Put that down. Put everything down. Sit down.
Folks, as you watch, as you can see, is a building on Center Street in Liberia called the Panda Building, and I'm familiar with the building because I live in that area, close proximity. So it just tells you how deplorable, the situation is in Liberia when it comes to drugs. You see young guys, engage themselves in this kind of illicit, habit, and you see how the condition look. You see how dilapidated the place look. It's a serious issue. And let me before I play the second video, let me congratulate the women group that led Thursday today a massive protest against this problem, about the drugs in Liberia. I want to say thanks to all the ladies who initiated this particular effort, and also all of you Liberian who joined also as a joint hand, in talking about this particular thing. It's something that we all have to address. Even myself using my platform this time to talk about this particular issue that is confronting our society and affecting young people at large. So we all have to make our way, to talk to young people in Liberia. Just before I play the second video, when I was in Liberia last year, I met one of my friends, a high school friend. We both graduated from the same school together. Smart guy. He's very smart. And, I couldn't believe that this guy had chosen to get peer pressure by one of his colleagues to get himself involved into drugs. And I was feeling very sad, but I could not do anything because I was on a mission, and my mission was to, get what I wanted to do and get it out of the way and come back home to my family. So, it was very sad to see young people. And I saw a lot of things, young people sleeping in the street. And I tell you, we all have a future. God created us for a reason. Your mom did not, a whole 9 month or 10 month pregnancies, or to just bring you forth to become a zogo or to become something useless. No, we are great people. That's why I always tell people, James chapter 1 verse 17 say, every good and every perfect gift, it comes from God, from the Father of life, with whom there is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. You are a good gift. God brought you forth unto earth. God brought you forth unto earth because you are a good gift. Why will you engage yourself into this substance abuse that will affect your life? So let's play the second video, but the number is on the screen if you want to be a part of the show and contribute tonight. The number is 443-538-7620. Call that number and contribute to the show tonight. And if you are watching the show via Facebook and YouTube, please share the podcast, make some comment, and also like. We highly appreciate you for that. So we are setting the stage for our discussion tonight. We got a lot to cover up, and we give you some online factor for which some of these things are all, are traveling around our country, entering into the country, and there are no, control for which you have, these things all over the place. We're going to discuss that as well. And we're also going to tell you that it's not just the community. Everyone has to play a role to be able to help, prevent this thing from affecting our young people. Because this thing, when they affect individual, it's not only affecting individual, it's affecting family as well. It affects society, businesses, and also government. It's not something just on a small scale. It's something that's going to affect everybody. So let's watch the second video so you can see how the thing about drugs that we are discussing, say no to drugs. Say no to drugs. That's what I have that sign on the screen, say no to drugs. So I want to encourage you, please, if you are in a habit of being, persuaded by one of your colleagues or to try this or try that, because I know how people convince people to say, oh yeah, you haven't tried it. Don't try that. Stay away from drugs. It is not good for your health. We'll discuss how this thing affects your health, affects your mind, affects everything about you, and also lead to what early death. We're going to talk about that. And then when you are into drugs, I tell you, your life is being cut short because why? You don't even know when or what is going to happen to you. So let's watch the second video as we set the stage for our discussion tonight. So the second video is about an individual who has taken the drugs and see the reaction of what this thing does to an individual. So you see how sad this particular scene is, to see a young man who has taken drugs, and you see the effect of that decision of taking that drugs. So we are saying, say no to drugs. And we are discussing this thing tonight. We are discussing the impact of drugs on our society and using Liberia as a case study. And the two videos that I play are all different scenes that happens in Liberia. The first one was at the building that I'm familiar with on the street called the Pennon Building. You saw a group of guys and ladies coming from that building, and you saw how deplorable and dilapidated that whole place were. And we are encouraging people, please avoid yourself from being, your life from being cut short. Avoid that, because this thing affects not only your mind, but it affects your health, and cut your life short. Stay away from this and say no to drugs. And that is why we are discussing tonight. We are discussing the impact of drugs on our society and using Liberia as a case study. And you saw the individual here, how he is being affected by this drug so much that he don't even have control over himself. And such a thing can lead to accident, because, take for instance, if he was, on a road walking by himself, somebody driving, not even paying attention, they're gonna just hit him, and that could cut his life short. I don't think any parent will bring forth a child and want the child to become a Zogo. I don't think any parent in the right mind will say, "Oh yeah, I want to have a 9-month pregnancy or 10-month pregnancy, and my child come forward and become a Zogo." No. Where do we have the name called Zogo? Is this something that the behavior of individual have created this name? We ask ourselves this question, and what can we do to help our society, and also join forces with the ladies who took themselves today, and informed thousands of people to march, to protest against this problem in our society in Liberia, and how we can be able to prevent this thing from getting into the hands of the young people. The young people are the ones who's supposed to take over our country tomorrow. So we have the number on the screen. If you're watching the show via Facebook and YouTube, call number 443-538-7620 and share your perspective on the topic. We are saying say no to drugs. And that is what we are discussing, using Liberia as a case study. So tonight, call and be a part of the show. We are discussing about Mama Liberia, and we are saying we need to combat this thing about drugs that is affecting our society. We saw a lot of young people being affected. I tell you, when I was in Liberia recently, there were too many people. Too many. I told you, even my classmates and schoolmates, they are all getting into this particular mess that is affecting our society. And we are saying, say no, say no, say no, say no. If you are out there and you came across this podcast, I'm encouraging you, say no to drugs. Say no to drugs. The number is on the screen. we are going to discuss why it's important to say no, and what is the negative effect of you getting yourself involved in this kind of mess. And we're going to give you online for which these things are all entering our country. You know, the government of Liberia need to play a vital role. You know, how did the thing enter this country? All of those things have to be addressed. We have to make sure that we're not allowing the things to just, come into the country so easily. No, it's getting in the hands of people. And we are also talking about this thing because a lot of people who are big hands in these things here, they are also bribing people to make this thing come into the country because they feel this is what they can sell and make money. So they have security forces that back them too also. All of the things need to stop. We need to do well for our country. It's not just the women who they initiated today, but we all Liberian in the diaspora or wherever you find yourself. This is a very wake-up call for every Liberian to talk to somebody who is involved in this particular thing. I know good friends, I know people, who get themselves involved. I talk to them. Stop these things. This thing will affect you and it will cut your life short. You have to leave drugs. You have to avoid it at all costs. Because what? You continue to take, that's how you are repaying, you're paying your debt by installment. Gradually, you're going to get ill. And looking at the health system in Liberia, it's not equipped to take care of you. Even normal person go to the hospital when they don't even have money, they can take care of them well. What more about you who don't even have anything and you are taking drugs? You have been left with no care. So why can't you just make a positive decision for your own future? Say no to substance abuse. So let's get into some of the things here. If you're following the show, please like, share, and make some comment. We highly appreciate you for that. And also, we have the number on the screen if you want to be a part of the discussion tonight, 443-538-7620. Call and contribute to the show. We are discussing the impact of drugs on our society using Liberia as a case study. And we are saying no to drugs. Say no to drugs. See it right on the screen there. Say no to drugs. Say no to drugs. So let's read some things here. Then we can be able to find out why it's important to talk about these, things that are affecting our society, especially Liberia. So we got to know the impact. The impact of drugs in Liberia is far-reaching and deeply affect individual, family, community, and a nation at large. When you have a loose country where no control about what enter the country, it affects not only the individual, it affects the family, it affects society, it affects businesses, and affect the nation at large. Do you want to have a whole population of drugs dealer or a drugs addict? No. You know what will happen when something goes wrong? No. So we have to combat these things and be able to do well to protect our country. So we have to do it because it's not just going to be the individual who is involved. It's going to affect family. It's going to affect society. It's going to affect businesses. It's going to affect government. It's going to affect the nation as a whole. So it's very important. It's very important that we address these things to help our society. So let's look at the negative consequences of this thing called drugs that we are talking about. The number is on the screen, 443-538-7620. If you're watching the show, please call that number and be a part of the discussion tonight. Let's talk about how we can be able to combat this thing called drugs in our country using Liberia as a case study. We watched two important videos that mention about some of the things that is happening in real time in our country. So we said the negative consequences of drugs abuse affect not only individual who's abused drugs, but also their family, friends, various businesses, and government resources. Yes, when these people are in drugs, they jack people's phone. They steal people's phone. They can take anything from anywhere and sell it, whether it belongs to you or not, because the guy doesn't have a control over his mind. His mind is already being contaminated by the thing he takes. So it's affecting our society. It's affecting our society. So what do? We have to do something about it. So the most obvious effect of drugs abuse, which are manifested in the individual who abuse drugs include ill health, sickness, and ultimately lead to what? Death. If you are watching this particular podcast tonight, and for some reason you are one of those that we are discussing, I'm encouraging you. This lead to sickness, lead to death, lead to what? A lot of mental, issue. Please avoid yourself and avoid drugs at all costs. I'm encouraging you on this podcast. Avoid this thing called substance abuse. It will not help you. It will shorten your life. It will make you sick. You'll be pied white. Imagine the health condition of our country already. We don't even have a good health system. Then knowing that you get yourself infected by this particular thing, what will happen? You won't have nobody to help you. You will die in the street. Do you want to, be born, living being? I know life is unpredictable, but do you want to just shorten your life and just go? Just because you find yourself engaged into a illicit practice? No. I'm sure you would have a better future. I'm sure you want to have a better future. So take control of your future and break free from the chains of substance abuse. You are listening to me. So how do we respond? How do community respond to the thing called substance abuse? The fact that we discuss the problem that these things are happening in our society. And once again, I want to applaud the women group who took themselves along with thousands of people who joined the forces to march today to talk about this particular things that is happening in our country. I want to say thank you to all Liberians who took the street today and were able to march, telling people, say no to drugs, encouraging young people, encouraging other people. I want to say thank you for taking that initiative. And I'm also using my voice on this platform to also join forces, that have already done that on this morning in Liberia, because now it's in the night in the US here. I'm also joining my little voice, to add to the one that I've already done, to talk to people on my platform. Say no, say no, say no. Avoid drugs at all costs. See, the community has to play a vital role in addressing this particular problem. This is an epidemic, a disease that I have to, get rid of. And it's affecting young people every day. We're going to talk about the online fighter, and we're going to give you a statistical analysis from 2003 about how the things are all entering into our country. And there is no control. We're going to discuss that so that the government can take, stands and measure to be able to stop these things from entering the country. Because if the thing don't enter the country, we will not have more young people affected, and the government have to play a vital role when it comes to helping these young people, because these people have already been damaged. How do we help them? So how the community can respond to these things is very important. And how do we prevent these things from affecting younger people and other people who are not even involved yet? How? So by focusing on prevention, education, treatment, and active involvement of community leaders, we can contribute or promote a positive change. That's what we can do. I know these guys, most of these guys are smart who engage themselves into the thing. Like I said, one of my former schoolmates. But how do we address these things? We have to provide some sort of skill set for these guys. We all have to, play a part. It is not just the government. The government has a major role, yes, but all community leaders, Liberian, civil society, council of churches, different organizations, put hands together, work collectively so that we can be able to fight this particular things that is affecting our young generation, and even older people have gotten involved. How? So we have to talk about prevention. So prevention begins with education. How do we educate these people? And that's why I'm using my platform to educate the people and tell them to say no to drugs. Why? Because we know that this thing is going to shorten your life. And when you are sick, you are being neglected because why? Nobody's going to take care of you. You don't even have a good health system. Who are going to take care of you when you get yourself involved into an illicit practice? No. You don't even have the money. How can you treat yourself? So put an end to drugs. Put an end. If you are washing and you get you're somebody who making decision to get yourself involved, or you're already there, put an end to it right now, because it's going to shorten your life. It's going to make you sick, and you're going to die early. Do you want to die early? No. I'm sure you want to live. I'm sure you have a plan and purpose for yourself. So please avoid this. So drugs abuse remain a problem in our country. And how do we provide hope for those who are involved? Drugs abuse causes a long shadow over our community. It strains family bonds, promote violence, and people who are faced with addiction. Along the way, a breeding healthcare system, diminishing workforce productivity, so many things that this particular thing, does to our society. This thing called drugs, it affects our society. And one of the underlying factors I like to quote, according to International Society of Substance Use Professional. According to International Society of Substance Use Professional Analysis Report 2023 on drugs in Liberia. This is the report. Liberia is fast becoming a significant transit country for illicit narcotics. I'm not saying that. This is an analysis report that I'm reading. If you want copy, I can share with you. And you can check on the internet, you will find it as well. Liberia is fast becoming a significant transit country for illicit narcotics. The country nascent law enforcement capacity, porous border control, and proximity to major drug transit routes contribute to trafficking to Liberia. This is the report. The recent arrest of $100 million United States worth of drugs the other time, other huge consignments of drugs, has exacerbated the situation even more. Yeah, even make the situation more worse. Gone out of proportion. See? So we have to do more. We have to do more. I know we are trying our best, as a country, but we have to do more. We have to combat this thing. And I'm glad the president took a stand, took a decision today to be able to fight. Yes, we have to do it. And it's not only the government. I know the government play a vital role because they are a leader of the country, and they have control over the entry or what go out and what come in. They have control, yes. But we all have to play a role. Talk to your neighbor, talk to your community, talk to any young person you find doing drugs. Tell them to stop. This will affect them. Education is very important. When you educate somebody, right, you are changing her destiny. You are changing family. You are changing her generation. Because why? When you tell him what is right and he listen to you and respect you, his life become better, and his life and people who life after him become better, because when you have children, he gonna pass that information over to the children. So it's very important, folks, as we talk about this. Let not allow drugs to enter our country. Joseph Yuma Bwaka, I'm calling on you using my platform. This is the Rahim Show. We have the number on the screen. If you're watching the show via Facebook and YouTube, call that number so you can be a part of the discussion. We are discussing the impact of drugs on our society using Liberia as a case study. What do we do as a nation and as a people? I'm in the diaspora. I'm using my voice and using my platform to talk about these particular things that is affecting our society. And I say kudos to the ladies today who took the stand, the women group who took, a lot of women to talk about this and to address a particular problem that is confronting our country. Young people are engaged into these kind of illicit, substance abuse that is affecting them. And this is not going to just stop. We have to do more, because why? We have said these things, and yet and still we're still seeing a lot of people, getting involved into this thing. We need to do more as a nation. We need to do more. And just to give you a little, things that I feel we can do from my own, standpoint. I believe we can, do a lot, and it all comes to, if we have a budget, set aside. And you see, one of the things that affect Africa is what we call implementation visibility. A lot of time people are given, let's say, an initiative or project to do, and they don't implement the project until the full affect the lives of the people. Because every project that is, geared towards affecting the lives of the people have to make some sort of change, have to create some sort of result. Because if it doesn't create a result, how can people life be affected? So, folks, we are using our platform to address this thing. Say no to drugs. Drugs is affecting Liberia. As we use Liberia as a case study, it can be any country for that matter. Say no to drugs. It's not good. It's going to spoil your life. It's going to make you sick. It's going to, shorten your life. Say no. We watched two important videos. And the two important videos just say everything about what we are discussing. The two important videos. So I want to encourage you. As you watch my show on Facebook, on all the social media. Please share this podcast, make some comment, and I tell you, we'll continue to pray for our country, Liberia, because it's our country. Our country. Nowhere like home. We love our country, and we'll continue to pray for the young people. We'll continue to use our voices, on this kind of platform, to help our country. We want to see a better Liberia, and we want to see a better country that does, the right things for the right people, for the people of that country. So, folks, that is how we come to our show tonight. We didn't receive any call, but not a problem. I hope you can share the podcast, make some comment. We highly appreciate you for that. And we also want to say thanks to all of you who support our platform. We appreciate you for your support. Until then, we see you next time as we continue to do well on our podcast to bring you some of these things that affect our society and also affect individual, as a whole. So good night, and hope we can see you another time. Bye for now. Thank you.